Alright, welcome to another league race. This time we're with the DNS. This time we're with Azerbaijan around Baku. And here's my first qualifying run. A banker is going to be a 41 2, I think it is. It's very close. Or sorry, 41-4. This is a track I felt particularly confident around because I'm in the top 300 in time trial. I know I can whip out a fast lap here, and this is my second run. And you can see, like, we're not even at the end of sector one, and I'm 2/10 up. So I'm feeling extremely confident at this point that I can get this lap together, and I'm going to get pole position. So, anyways, coming through, I think this is turn 7. I go purple in sector 1, and about to go through the castle section, and we'll just take you through a bit of a live commentary, shall we? Just for the sake of it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, unbelievable. I was absolutely furious. Anyways, I qualified P4th. Now, I need to get this out quickly because Steve there in third. Now, Steve was given a qualifying ban for incidents in the last race, and he hasn't observed that qualifying ban. And so I'm quite annoyed because not only have I messed up my own lap, but I should really be in third because of that qualifying ban. So I'm already thinking of potential, because I'm part of the stewards, and I'm thinking of potential punishment and the such. But just have to try and get focused. There's a race ahead, but a few of us were quite annoyed of what happened. So anyway, we won't hear the last of that though. But just very quickly, the championship standings. I'm sitting in third on 85 points, 30 behind Steve. Looking for a good result at what is one of my best tracks, I think. This and Canada are one of my best tracks, back-to-back. So, anyways, the 5 lights are going to go off, and I'm going to leave it to the live com to do the next bit of talking, so in a bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Stefan.
Steve's turned into me. Oh my god!
Whoa. You just turned into the water.
Caesar has just absolutely obliterated me. So there's a few things to talk about there. One, I'm not annoyed at Caesar because I've looked at Caesar's footage, and honestly, it's like I was never there. Like, you know, it really was. It's like I was never there. Him hitting into my car registered absolutely nothing on his end. So I understand looking at that. My main beef, though, is that Steve has clearly compromised my turn 1 by turning quite sharply into me, and I've lost traction, and that's put me in the vulnerable position that I was in, that when Caesar came across, I was into the wall. If Steve isn't there, and if he had observed his qualifying ban, I guarantee that doesn't happen. By the way, we're about to lose the rest of the front wing here. I was going to pit anyways because I had red wing, so it doesn't really bother me too much that happened. It's racing, you got to stop suddenly. Tez had to stop suddenly, so I'm furious because Steve should never have been in that position, because there was a qualifying ban to be observed and he did not observe it. He ends up pitting this lap, from what at the time of recording this, saying that because we told him that he had a qualifying ban during qualifying after he set his lap, and so he said he came to the pits to make up for the, but like honestly, like I've seen the footage from Caesar, and Steve binned it. Like basically he put himself into the wall, he compromised himself, and I think he had wing damage. So anyways, I knew that no matter what I did, my race was already kind of ruined, but I also knew that if there's no tyre really that will get me to the end of the race, so for that reason I decided to go into the soft compound tyres, because I knew I had to make a second stop on this strategy now anyway. So ordinarily it would have been for one stop, but that's out the window. And yeah, I'm going to be basically in last, so I'm going to get these softs on, and then, you know, do a super soft run at the end, and then look, we'll just keep driving. There's 24 laps left, and see where I can end up finish, as we're going to see some nice ghost on ghost action. I'm going to pop in front of Carl on this one for 11th place. So now it is all just about going out, driving, and just damage limitation really at this point. Lap 4, I'm I was coming behind Swanee and ends up ploughing his car into the wall. So There's one less overtake I have to make. Lap 10, I overcooked my braking, just overcooked myself heading into that corner, and I smashed my wing. And I was thinking, great, I might just come into the pits and put on a set of mediums. But honestly, I'm already 11 or so laps on these tires. The pace difference, I was basically only losing like 3-4 tenths a lap. So I thought, okay, let me just keep going, because the lap time was pretty solid. Like I was doing it, and I was fairly happy with how the car was feeling, despite having an orange wing. This lap here, this is coming on to lap 14, going to 15. I'm actually only a tenth. I was only a tenth off my previous best lap, so I decided to keep with my current strategy, pit on lap 16, and change my wing and put the super softs on, and just go to the end. So I'm glad I did this, because this is probably one of my better decisions of the race, was to stick with it. Stick with the wing damage, because I wasn't losing a whole bunch of time, and then go on the super softs and ditch the medium. So I got up to 5th or 4th place, whatever it was, due to other people pitting and other people having offs, excuse me. And I'm going to pop into P7 here behind Archie. So with 10 laps to go or so on these tires, so there's work to do. Later that lap, I am catching Archie again. I felt I had absolute legitimate pace at this track, but just wasn't able to. Well, you're only seeing that now, really, at this part of the race, sadly. Anyways, lap 16, I said purple sector 3, and I'll have DRS, and I've saved a bit of fuel. I actually overfilled the car by 2.5 laps or so to begin the race, because this track does eat the fuel. Rich mixture. I'm basically on the back of his bumper even before the DRS, which is coming now. Open the DRS. There's a little bit of lag going on, so I didn't want to stay directly behind him in case he lagged back into me for just in case. So anyways, down the inside into turn 1, and I will get that move done. That is P6, and you might not have saw him, but you'll see it now. The gap to Trench in 5th was 9 seconds, so I thought, I'm not going to really, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, but look, I just ploughed on, and then lap by lap the gap continued to decrease. So lap 19 is at 6 seconds, 6.6 it might have been, and on to lap 20 the gap is 5.5 seconds. So I wasn't really looking at the gap too much, I was just focusing on driving. I would say I really started noticing the gap, I'd say, after this lap here, where I'm 4.3 seconds. I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance, but I still hadn't really fancied myself for it. I think it might have been the following lap. Again at 2.8 seconds. I think it was by this stage that I knew that it was a real possibility that I might be able to get him. Lap 23, 1.4 seconds. The gap is ever closing. I knew by the end of this lap I would be within the DRS range. And here we go. Tucking in behind Trench, trying to get this P5, which I thought might, like, even so, for everything my race has been, I would, yeah, I mean, P5 not too bad, but nothing doing into turn 1. So maybe try something into turn 2 perhaps, or sorry, into turn 3 after the second DRS straight. Just being really cautious. I didn't want to bust my wing again. I'd kind of already partially, very slightly damaged it at this point, but nothing too extreme. But I'm not going to be able to do anything heading into this turn 3. So lap 24, my time is running out to get this move done. However, coming out of the castle section, Trench gets a poor run out of that corner, and I'm just able to slingshot past, and there you go, that is P5, and I get that move done on lap 24 with a few laps to spare. So I actually kind of wonder if I would have actually been able to pass him under the straight, because he looked like he had fairly decent straight line speed. Anyways, that is my race. I mean, it was compromised from lap 1, and everything else just kind of kicked off from there. Again, I am not angry at Caesar, because, look, the only reason I was ever in that position where I got caught up with Caesar because Steve didn't observe the qualifying ban, and he knocked me into turn 1. So for now that is P5. That could be 4th, depending what the stewards decide to do. I am not part of that decision. Well, partially, because but mostly not because it involves me. But anyways, that is P5. I'm very, very disappointed, because again, Baku is one of my strongest tracks, and I really think I had the the pace at the very, very least for a podium. And I do fancy myself in my heart of hearts that I could have challenged for this win today. I know I had the pace. I didn't do myself any favours in qualifying, but I look still very disappointed with that race, and obviously everything that happened in it. It will not be the last that it will be discussed of. The stewards, and I think lots of people are very not happy about Steve not observing his quality ban. But there you go, that is Azerbaijan. That is round 8 of DNS. Next up is the Austrian Grand Prix, a track I feel okay at. Definitely not as strong as these last two just gone. So, but look, let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean, let's just see what happens. Anyways, until Austria, until next time, until round number 9, it was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Until then.